just want to understand what kind of danger we're in.
We are drug dealers. That's the game.
If they come at us, we gonna come right back at them.
FX's Snowfall.
Yeah, what's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J, and yes, I'm back with another video. This is for Snowfall, episode 4 recap and review. And yes, it is definitely getting better. We see that Mama Cece is back, and we're getting more details as to what's going on with the fam. Listen, if you missed any recaps, definitely look back at all my recaps so you don't miss anything. So let's break down episode 4. Let's get it started. So the name of this episode is Revolutions, and the description reads, the LAPD's crash unit raids the projects. Cece returns from Cuba. And yes, she is returning, and returning with some information. Oh yeah, it's about to turn up. Let's break it down. So Mama Cece comes back home. She comes back to her house, coming from Cuba. She got her Cuban tan on and everything. Looks around the house, and it looks like somebody's been living there. Who's been living there? Yeah, Wanda's been living in her house. That's where Franklin put her, you know, to keep her safe and all of that, right? So she's reminiscing about when they first got the house. She's talking to Franklin when he was a little boy, and he's like, you know, how is it? He's like, yeah, it's all right. And she's like, man, you know, when I was a little girl, I had to sleep with all my other brothers and sisters, right? And there's Alton in the background, and she's just reminiscing and listening to Alton, and Alton's like, yeah, you know, no more of this, no more of that. It's just going to be us. And he's talking to her about just them two getting together and just really making things happen and being together forever, right? So she's reminiscing on all of that. Like, we see that she is missing Alton, and that's what's going down. So now we see Einstein and Big Dion, and they are absolutely right in front of all of the supply. We see Jerome, and they're talking about making things happen and how they're going to put the supply inside the car. And yeah, Jerome is getting at Einstein, talking about, yeah, you're not the only smartest guy here. Then there's some music playing, and it's bumping, and they're like, yo, that joint is fresh, right? This is 1986. It's like, yo, this is fresh. Jerome's like, yo, turn that up, right? So they go over to the car, and they're listening to it, and they're listening to this rapper, and this dude is talking about Franklin. He's talking about Uncle Jerome, and he's like, yo, be quiet, be quiet. And this dude is basically rapping and telling the story about Franklin, Jerome, Aunt Louie, and everybody in the hood. He's basically snitching on record. So the dude is playing this like, yo, we got to do something like to take this dude out. Like, this ain't right. And Uncle Jerome is like, yo, this is crazy. Like, who made this tape, right? So they go to the hood. They looking for this cat. They rolling up and asking people, yo, where's this guy at? Where's this guy at? And they like, yo, look up. And they look up, and they see this dude on the roof dancing to like some rock and roll music. Like, the dude is just got a skateboard. He's just dancing around on the roof, like real weird, like, right? They like, yo, bring your ass down here. Get down here, like, jump. And he's like, what? Who's calling me? You know, who's calling me? And this dude is a random dude. They thought he was like some thug dude. This dude is some skateboarding dude rapping about Franklin and them. And he's like, yo, so y'all want to pay me, you know, for my lyrics or whatever? He's like, you crazy, man? You basically snitching on record. You telling our story of in the hood and all this and that. And Einstein is like, yo, you just did like 500 different like snitching raps all in one song. You just snitched on all of us. And Jerome is like, yo, get all the tapes, man. Just snatch up all the tapes. He's like, nah, don't snatch up the tapes. That's all I got. You know, I don't write nothing down. He's like, yo, go ahead and rap right now then. You do everything off the top, go ahead and rap, right? So while he's about to rap, guess who rolls up? One Time rolls up. Of course, you know, they got the lookout. And he's like, one time. That means 5-0 is coming. That means the police are coming. So he lets them know. And they are coming through hardcore, man. This crash unit, they are rolling through the hood, man. And while they talking to this rapper kid, man, police are just coming through, chasing after people, knocking down doors. I mean, they just are just coming through with the billy clubs. They don't care. They don't care who it is. And they got the dogs out, right? So, yeah, you got the dogs over there, but they got the canine police dogs out there as well. Leon's like, what the is going on, right? And you got your boy Einstein. He is running from the canine dog. And that dog, man, I feel sorry for Einstein, right? That dog tore him up. Tore him up. He's a little kid, man. So they put Leon on the ground, Jerome, Dion on the ground. It's just like, what is going on? They putting him in handcuffs. I mean, it's very embarrassing, man. And yeah, again, that dog did it work. He did work on Einstein, which is messed up. And Jerome's like, yo, he's just a kid. He's just a kid. Leave that kid alone, man. Leave that kid alone. And of course, they're shocked, you know, because they weren't expecting this at all. Wasn't expecting this at all. And who rose up? This dude, Bo, man. Tossing tables, rolling through like he's the man. I mean, yeah, he basically is the man, right? That's what they call him. And he's looking at him directly, takes his glasses off, looking directly at Jerome, winks at him in the whole nine. I mean, really, that's what you're going to do? You really going to do that? You're going to come through and just really just embarrass these guys and put them on the ground, and they don't got nothing on. They don't got nothing on them, so what's the problem, right? So now we see Franklin and your girl Veronique, boy. Yeah, they're having fun. They're eating. They're talking about how it used to be prior to them living with each other. You know, they have a fun little loving conversation. And, you know, and she's like, yeah, it was different then. And he was like, yeah, it was different before too. You know, I used to come home, used to cook, you know, and everything else like that before you moved in. Now you moved in, and I barely get a sandwich up in this motherfucker, right? So, you know, it looks like they really have a great relationship, which I like. You know, I like this for Franklin because they, you know, they really like each other. She really likes him. She's really into him. They're into each other. And, yeah, this is a good thing to me for Franklin. And, you know, they're about to start a family as well. So that's what's up, man. That's that black love right there, right? And she's definitely feeling him. But, again, can we trust Veronique? That's the question. He gets a phone call because, yes, he found out that the crash unit ran up in the hood and ran down on Jerome and Leon. So she gets up, and he's like, what's up? And she's like, all right, we need to go down there and make sure they're okay. So she's a rider. She's definitely a rider, man, like for real. Again, we can't get too attached to these characters because, you know, remember, sometimes they flip. This is Snowfall, right? So we see your boy Peaches, and again, he ain't saying nothing, but they playing bones, they playing dominoes and all this and that. You know, they kind of chilling out, right, in the stash, in the club, and here comes, you know, Franklin and Veronique, and Peaches gets up because he's like surprised he wasn't on point. You know, usually Peaches is on point with all of that. So again, you got Leon, and he is pissed off. He's mad. He's mad because they kind of rolled through, and he's talking to, you know, Aunt Louie, like, yo, they just ran through and disrespected us and everything else like that. And they're like, yo, that's your boy. That's supposed to be your boy. Bo is supposed to be your boy. What's up with that? You know, I thought he was protecting us. He came through and threw us on the ground, and they messed up Einstein. You know, they real upset because, again, they came through and didn't get anything. They didn't get anything. They pretty much just harassed them. They harassed them, you know, and I mean, I can understand. It's like they did all that for nothing just to do what? To send a message. That's exactly what they're doing. They came through to send a message to Aunt Louie. Bo asked her in that first episode to give up somebody, to snitch on somebody. She didn't do it. So because of that, he's coming through and he's going to be messing up all their stuff, right? So Leon, he's like, man, I ain't having it, man. Next time they come through, we going to fight back. And Aunt Louie's just on some like, yo, that's the name. This is the game. This is what goes down. But he's just like, yo, that's supposed to be your boy. He's supposed to be protecting us, not coming through and harassing us. So Aunt Louie's like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to him. Meanwhile, Veronique, she's just listening to everything. She's absorbing everything that's going on, right? And Leon, he is enraged. He's like, yo, Franklin, I'm telling you, we're going to get at these guys. We're going to get at one time. And we ain't having it. And then he looks at the door and he stops talking. And guess who's at the door? That's right. Cece is at the door. She's coming through. And he's like, Mama? He like, Mama? He's happy to see his mama. Boy, look at the smile on Franklin's face. He runs over to him, gives him a hug. It's all love, man. You know, it's been a while since they seen each other. It's been over a year now. You know, of course, you know, Jerome, that's his sister. He's happy to see her too. You know, they hugging and it's all good. And Veronique is over there like, yo, that's your mom? Like, she'd never met her mother before. But yeah, look at the mother and son love right there, you know? And of course, Jerome was like, come here, girl. Come here, sister. You know how he talk, right? And it's all love, man. They happy to see Cece. We all happy to see Cece is back. And yeah, she's back without Alton. Meanwhile, yeah, you know, Leon, he's trying to calm down. He's trying to be cool about it, but he's still kind of messed up in the head. He's still messed up about all of that. So yeah, you know, she finally meets Veronique. Cece finally meets Veronique, and she's happy, and she's excited. And she's like, yeah, I came as soon as I heard. And Aunt Louie's like, heard what? You know, they like, what you talking about? Like, again, because Franklin and Aunt Louie's been beefing and they not really on good terms, of course she doesn't know what's going on. So, you know, they like, yo, we pregnant. And Uncle Jerome, you know, Uncle Jerome's like, what? Baby boy having a baby? What? So they happy, they celebrating, and it's all good. He's just real happy to see his mama, boy. I tell you, he loves his mama, and now he got his woman as well. So, yeah, you know, Aunt Louie's on some like, oh, okay, I see what's really going on, right? So now she goes and she meets up with Bo, man. And this dude, he's a jerk for real. Like, he's like, I told you to give up somebody. You got to give up somebody so I could protect you. But you didn't do what I told you to do. So she's like, yo, you could just come around and just do that. Just do me like that. You know, like it ain't supposed to be like that. It's all about having trust. Like I told you I'm going to give you somebody. He's like, yeah, but you still didn't. So now I had to do what I have to do. So until you give up somebody, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. So now we see Teddy and Franklin. They meet up. And yeah, Franklin is telling Teddy, yo, the police are cracking down on, you know, my people, man. Like, this is not good. And, you know, Teddy's just like, well, you are selling, you know, a narcotic in the hood. That's what's going to happen. The police is going to crack down on you. He's like, yo, don't you have your police ties, man? Like, what happened? Like, you don't have your police ties? He's like, nah, I don't have them anymore, man. Of course I don't have them. He's like, why? Why? And he's like, yo, your father went to the press, man. Your father went to the press. You remember? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember why your father had to go away? You know? And he's just like, yo, they're not affecting you. They're not coming at you. They're coming at your people. It's like, yo, don't even worry about it. Don't even sweat it. As long as they're not coming to you directly, don't worry about it. So frankly, just on some like, yo, whatever, man. You ain't going to do nothing about it. You ain't going to help out. You can't help out. And then you're going to blame it all on my dad. Yeah, okay. You know, so he still kind of has his thoughts about Teddy actually disappearing Alton, you know, but he doesn't have any proof. So now we see your boy Avi. Avi is, you know, he's doing his thing, selling some straps. Guess who comes through the door? Your boy Leon comes through the door. He's like, what's going on, you know? And, yeah, they're talking about baseball, whatever, but he's like, yo, I need some high artillery stuff. And Avi's like, may I ask what you need it for? He's like, well, to retaliate on the police. And Avi's just on some like, yo, you sure you want to do that? Because you're going to come at them. And they're pretty much, basically, Avi was like, yo, they're the biggest gang in the world. You sure you want to go against them? He's like, yo, we got to do something. Leon's just on some retaliation, on some revenge, you know, on some like, yo, they can't just roll up in our hood. And Avi's trying to convince him not to do it because they're going to come with full force back on them. So Leon's like, listen, I got money. You got the straps. Listen, are we going to do business or do I need to go someplace else to get the straps? And Avi's like, okay, listen. give me a week, and I'll get back with you. You know, I got some high artillery stuff. Give me some time, right? Give me some time. So Wanda is talking to Franklin and talking to, of course, Veronique, and they're talking about some things or whatever, and she's asking, did she do the right thing? And, you know, they're just talking. They're just talking. And guess who walks in? Of course, Mama Cece. She walks in with the big smile and the Cuban tan, and she's looking at her boy. I mean, I like seeing, you know, Mama Cece with Franklin and now Veronique. And she turns around and says, oh, who's this? She's like, oh, this is Wanda. She's like, oh, you're the person living in my house. She's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I made a mess. You know, I would have cleaned up if I knew you was coming, but ain't nobody tell me nothing, right? Ain't nobody gonna tell you nothing. That's somebody else's house. You better keep it right. Like, keep somebody else's house tight, man. Don't be having Jet magazines and shoes everywhere, right? So she leaves, and, you know, Veronique is just looking at her like, okay, listen, it's all good. It's all good, right? So, of course, Cece is happy to see her baby boy and his girlfriend and soon to be, you know, granddaughter or grandson, right? So he's like, hey, you know, what do you think? And she's like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what, you know, we got started. And Veronique is basically giving her props like, yo, you're the one that set the stage, that set the foundation of all of this, you know? And she's like, you're doing such a great job. You're just right for Franklin. This is exactly what, you know, I couldn't dream of. You know, you guys are putting this all together and making big, big moves. So, you know, they're showing each other love and all this and that when it comes down to the real estate aspect of things. And Franklin has some information to share with her, really on some real estate stuff, not really on anything else outside of that. Now, of course, Cece knows that he's still doing, you know, the product game as well. So we got Aunt Louie. She's just sitting in the office, chilling or whatever. Jerome comes in there. He's like, hey, listen, you know, Franklin's putting together a dinner, like a welcome home dinner for Cece, and I want you to go. And she's like, nah, I just want to sit here and watch these white girls on TV, make a monk. He's like, listen, you know, my sister ain't come home in a year, and you want to sit back and you can't do this for me? And she's just like, oh, man, you can see in her face she feeling bad because she was just being real selfish. And she's like, okay, I'm going to come. And, you know, because she has animosity towards Franklin and on how everything went down. So she really didn't want to go because of that. But now, off of what Jerome says, she's going to go. So now we back in the hood, and we see Franklin, you know, walking with Leon and asking him like, yo, you know, we having a dinner tonight. Definitely would be cool if you come through. And Leon is not in the right state of mind. Because after what happened, you know, with the crash unit coming through, like, he's really traumatized over that. And he's like, yo, we got to take care of our people in the hood. And he's like, yo, this is family. He's like, yeah, it don't feel like that. So I'm going to have to, you know, give it past, like, you know, show your mom, tell your mom I show respect and everything. And I won't forget everything that she's done for me. Right. But Leon is on some other stuff right now. Like, his whole mindset is different. And he doesn't really feel like, you know, Franklin and the Saint family is family right now. Right. So we have the dinner. Here comes Franklin, suit and tie. They at this restaurant, and, you know, Uncle Jerome, he's really happy to see his sister, boy, see his little Cece. And so is Aunt Louie a little bit. You know, they all having fun, all smiles. This is the first time we kind of see them all together, all smiles, different level, a little older now, more mature Franklin. And, yeah, they're just chopping it up. And Franklin's like, yeah, you know, Jerome got a horse and everything. He's like, yeah, they got horses now. And, yeah, I mean, Franklin is really kind of quarterbacking the whole thing, making sure that Mama Cece is getting love. And, yeah, it's all good. But they're talking about things, and she's having a good time. You know, Aunt Louie is really just kind of over there, just being kind of to herself. So, of course, Franklin stands up. He says, this is what it's all about. It's all about family. You know, they got Ellie in the background. And it's a proud moment to just have all the family there, even though Alton's not there. See, Alton not being there is the elephant in the room, right? Because we still don't know what happened. You know, Veronique is there. Everybody's there except for Alton. And that's the mystery, and that's the big elephant in the room. But Franklin doesn't want to talk about that. Franklin just wants to, you know, have his mama have a good time. And, you know, they're talking about how things used to be and how things are cool now. You know, things are better now and they're in a better position now. And, of course, your girl, Aunt Louie, she can't wait to really kind of like jump in. But, you know, Cece, she feels the vibe. She feels like something is off, right? And she's looking at Aunt Louie, and something is off between Franklin and Aunt Louie. So she asked the question, so what happened to Alton? And, you know, she's just like, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. Like, we know that something happened to Alton. And, and again, looking at Franklin's face, he's like, really? You want to talk about this right now? Like, this is not the time nor the place. And Cece definitely has in her mind that, yeah, Teddy McDonald basically took out Alton. Took him out. Like, he's gone because of Teddy, right? Teddy McDonald. And she feels that way, but she doesn't know. And Franklin's on like, yeah, well, you know, we definitely don't know for sure what's going on. You know, like, we don't know for sure that Teddy actually did something to Alton, right? But he's still looking like mean, like the eyes. You can see like he is basically piercing Aunt Louie. And she's looking at him like, yeah, you might as well tell her. And she's like, so what's going on? You know, what is this thing going on between y'all two? And he's looking at her real hesitant about the whole thing. And, you know, Aunt Louie's like, yo, she needs to know. She really needs to know, right? And he basically goes ahead and he tells her that, yeah, Teddy is back. Teddy's back. And Aunt Louie's just like, yeah, see? Like, she needs to know what's going on. And you can see on Cece's face, she's like, what? Like, he's back? It's like, yeah, he's back. He's back in the fold. We doing business with him still. And she really can't believe it. You know, she really can't believe that he's back. And, of course, with the way that she feels kind of like out of the loop. So that's why she's like, listen, I'm back. I need to know, you know, the dangers. I need to know everything that's going on now. You don't need to keep me in the dark anymore, you know, like you used to. But, yeah, I need to know everything that's going on. Like, he's like, yo, what are you asking me to do? You asking to come on drops with me? Like, what do you ask me to do? You're my mom. And she's like, well, I'm glad you have Veronique because she's here. Like, she knows what's going on, right? He's like, yeah, but she don't come on drops with me. But she's like, but she does know about Teddy. And she's like, yeah, I know about Teddy. So mom was just like, yo, keep me in the loop on things. I don't mean to cause trouble. I came to help. But Franklin doesn't want her to be involved in none of that, being that she does feel the way she feels about Teddy. Now we got Uncle Jerome, and he is listening to this rapper, man. And this rapper is going in. If you've listened to the lyrics, you hear him talk about Franklin and talk about Uncle Jerome has eyes, but he can't see, right? He's saying that his uncle is just right there and he's a goon. He's kind of like doing whatever Franklin wants him to do. I mean, he's really going in and breaking down everybody in the family and basically snitching, but really breaking it down like, Jerome, you ain't really the man. So now, after that whole conversation, we see Veronique and Franklin. And she's like, yo, you kind of played Teddy being back down, you know what I'm saying, to your mom. And he was like, yeah, you know, she just came back and everything. And she's like, listen, I'm safe here. I feel safe here. And you know, I feel like it's safe. But he gives her a strap and she unloads it and loads it up. And Franklin like, yo, how you know how to do all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that right there was an indication to me. And she's like, yeah, you know, my mama taught me da-da-da-da. But that was an indication to me that she might really be undercover in one way, shape, or form. Or she just knows how to, you know, handle the strap. We shall see, man. Again, I'm not trying to get too attached to Veronique because he may flip on us. So now we see Cece. She is in a diner. She's sitting there, and this guy comes over. He's like, hey, do I know you? I think I know you from somewhere. She's like, yeah, maybe. You know, I just came back from Cuba, right? So the guy sits down. He's like, yeah, you look very, very familiar, all right? Blah, blah, blah. So kind of find out he's a contact for an organization that Cece basically connected with or hired, right? And this guy's like, hey, listen, you know, now that we made contact, we're going to have meetings or whatever. Because she's like, how does this work? He's like, yeah, we're going to meet here. We can meet in public and da-da-da. She's like, listen, nah, I need to make sure my family's safe and I need answers. I need all of that. You know, I need all of that first. You know, I made contact with my family and no, we're not going to meet in public. And he's like, listen, I'm sorry what happened with you and the CIA. And we're going to do everything in our power. And she's like, listen, give me all the answers, make sure my family's safe. Then you can go ahead and kill Teddy McDonald. Oh, shoot. Cece hired some goons to take out Teddy. Oh, man, because she knows for sure, like in her mind, she knows for sure that Teddy took out Alton. She knows for sure that it was Teddy. It wasn't no other organization, even though Alton was an ex, Black Panther. Nah, she's convinced that it was Teddy, and she's going to take Teddy out. Wow. So we're going to find out what happens in the next episode with Cece and everything. And, man, it's about to heat up. This crash crew is coming through to the hood. Family, let me know your thoughts, your theories. If you're brand new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Family, we're going to get deeper and deeper into Snowfall because you already know it's about to go down. So you know what it is, fam. It's your man, VACAY-J. I appreciate you for watching. Until next time, salute.